So the lighting here, I can't tell if I'm getting this well, but hopefully I am. So here is one of my quilt boxes, and I was opening some of these up to see how they were doing, and this one was pretty wet. I'm sure that you can't really see, but it had collected a lot of condensation here, and so I've decided that this is going to be the one that I'm going to experiment with using wool in. I have a friend who gave me some wool to try, and apparently wool, I don't know anything about wool, but apparently it can absorb a lot of moisture before its insulative qualities start to diminish. And so I'm going to give it a shot in this hive and just see what it does. And I don't know if it's economical. I'm not sure how much this bundle of wool would cost if I wanted to do this with all my hives, but it's just a little experiment. And so I've picked a hive that, so far, it's the one that has the most condensation up in the quilt box, and some of this is very damp at this point. So I'm just going to take all of this out and basically just dump it on the ground, or dump it into a box here, and set it back on top of the hive. And then I'm going to take this stuff and spread it out in there, and I'm going to have to stop the video for a second while I do. So now here I've laid the wool out and sort of spread it out as best I could, and then I'm going to put the lid back on. Now the other thing that I'm doing that's different than what it was before was where the lid was. Where the lid was, there was no ventilation off of the inside of that quilt box. And so now I've created a little bit of ventilation off of the top of that quilt box so that it can, let some of that, it can dry out a bit. And I've done that with all of the hives, the other hives that I have just left the wood chips in, and kind of opened a little opening here. So this is not the, hopefully I'm getting this, this is not, yeah, there we go. This is not the hive opening. This is just an opening into the quilt box so that it can vent out. And then there's the hive opening down below. So I'm doing that with all of them so that there's a little less condensation in there. And then of course this one will have the experimental wool. And I want to thank Linda Ligon for the wool that she volunteered for this experiment. And I'll come out here the next time it gets good and warm. It's mid-December right now. And the next time it gets warm, I'll come out and check and just see how this box, the condensation in here, compares with the condensation in other boxes.